What is up, my beautiful people? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Exile 451 here again with yet another daily dose of Reddit Happy. Going somewhere we haven't been for a good while, r/AskReddit, to share some great feel-good stories going into the weekend of rescue pets and what they've meant to people. As usual with AskReddits, I'm not going to do any commentary until the end when we've run through all of these. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. If you have a rescued pet, what is it and what's its story? My dog, a boxer pit bull mix, is a rescue. The local animal shelter sometimes comes out to our city's weekly farmers market to show animals that are available for adoption. My mom and I happened to go to the farmers market on one of those days, and that's where we met her. The shelter owner said she'd been there for about 2 months after someone had found her on the streets, extremely malnourished, limping, and without a collar, which probably signifies that her previous owners got rid of her and that she wasn't just lost. The shelter owner told us that the vet had estimated that she had been on the streets for about 6 months due to how underweight she was, that she was a breeder because of the way her nipples looked, that she was abused because she had anxiety issues, and that she had abandonment issues too. Since she's an older dog, they thought she was kicked out once she was no longer able to have puppies. She was the sweetest, calmest dog we've ever seen. She didn't bark at all. We fell in love, and after we'd met her, my mom decided that she's our dog. We got her 4 days later and officially adopted her about a month after that. It's been almost 2 years since we got her, and she's the love of our lives. She still has abandonment issues. We can't keep her outside with the door shut because of her previous trauma of literally being shut out. But her anxiety's mostly under control, even though we have to give her Prozac. And she's at the perfect weight. I got my cat, Laylee, from a non-kill animal shelter. I say non-kill because it's important. She is feral and was incredibly fearful of people. I didn't know this until she came out of her cage and turned into a ball of flying fur and claws. I was still attracted to her and decided to go through with the adoption, regardless of her temperament. The techs there seemed incredibly happy to see her go. As we started going through the paperwork, the office manager stopped us and asked if we knew she was feral and how to properly take care of her. We said we didn't, and she called in a vet tech and the vet to go over the extra care she would need to become socialized. They told us that she had been adopted 3 times but was brought back and that she was close to being euthanized due to being unadoptable. She was my first cat, and even though I said I was prepared, I didn't realize the work she would take. At first, she wouldn't even leave the litter box. When we tried to feed her or show her affection, she would shut down and get defensive. We decided to switch gears and let her go about her business until she would ask for food or affection. It was a very slow process, but she eventually learned to trust me. Fast forward 12 years and she's my princess. She's affectionate and cuddly and even lets strangers get close to her and pet her when she's in her comfortable areas. She's been a blessing to me, and I can't imagine my life without her. I'm an active foster with my city shelter. We agreed to take in a pregnant mom who was in a kill shelter almost 100 miles away. She was from a hoarding situation, under-socialized and scared to death. When we brought her home, she just faced a corner and cowered. If you even looked at her, let alone touch her, she would flinch. We were very patient with her and let her call the shots. And by the time she had her litter 5 weeks later, she would let us handle the puppies to change out the linens. Eventually, she started to wag her tail when we would talk to her, when we didn't even know if it was capable of wagging. We didn't adopt her because she found an amazing home with someone experienced in dog behavior, but we did adopt one of her puppies who surely would have been killed had Mama stayed at the shelter. We still get frequent updates from the family about the mom. We rescued a scruffy terrier mutt, approximately 15 pounds, about a year ago. We don't know a ton about her backstory. We only know she's somewhere between 2 to 3 years old. She came from down south and was on the euthanasia list at a rural shelter. A local rescue organization there scooped her up, got her healthy, spayed and vaccinated, and she was then driven to us with approximately 80 other dogs being adopted/fostered on a Sprinter van about a month after she was pulled from the shelter. We picked her up off the side of a highway and took her off a van. She was absolutely filthy and was bathed within an hour. And then again the next day. And again the day after that. We initially fostered, then adopted, which was the intention. We had fostered a few pups prior and had decided that it was too hard to give them back when someone adopted them. So, we decided we wanted to keep one. We told the local rescue agency what we were looking for, and about 2 months later, they emailed us with a photo of her. She came our way about 2 weeks later. We suspect she was a backyard dog, well socialized in some areas, not in others. Too well fed to have been homeless. She had puppies, but she's such a goofy mix, she wasn't a backyard breeder. She came to us with some issues, probably wasn't properly socialized as a pup, but has made some huge strides, and we've put a lot of effort into making her the best version of herself. She's a good doggo. Her name is Harper, and we rescued her when she was 9 weeks old. She's 3 now. She's a Chihuahua Jack Russell mix that was abandoned by her breeder as she was a runt. A rescue team found her on the street covered in fleas and took her in. My mom had been browsing dogs for a while and found her listed at a pound in Kentucky, and that she'd be doing showings at PetSmart the next week. My mom immediately knew she was our dog. We reserved her and drove 5 hours to go get her. She's the love of our lives. A year ago, a fluffy black cat started hanging around our house. He was very skittish and we couldn't get near him for a good 3 months. My nan, who I lived with, would open the garage and leave a box with a blanket and some food overnight. It took another 2 months for him to come inside. Not of his own accord, my nana chased him in. Another month for us to be able to pet him. We were worried about his owners, if he had any. One day, we were out for a walk just outside our neighborhood and saw a poster with a cat similar to the black one. We called the number, and the description fit. She sent her husband over, who told us how their cat went missing 6 months ago and how much they looked for him. He kept on mentioning his cat's microchip and how he was desexed. He also said that after they gave up hope, they got a new cat. He then asked if the stray had a white spot on his belly. We couldn't say because he was still very shy and never lets us hold him. So, to be sure, we took the stray and his possible old owner to the vet to get his microchip checked. There was no chip, and he isn't desexed. The guy claims it's definitely not his cat, so we keep him. We named him Koshek after the character from Welcome to Night Vale. It takes a little while for Koshek to warm up to us. Then, one day during a scratch, he rolls over and just on his chest, I notice a white spot. I'm not sure if it's a coincidence, but I feel like the guy lied to us because he didn't want Koshek back. If that's the case, it's his loss. Koshek is now the sweetest, most charming, cuddliest cat I've ever had the pleasure of being friends with. Man, I love videos about pets. If you noticed, I went out of my way to find as much free B-roll footage of pets to play in the background as I could, and let me tell you, it wasn't the easiest thing out there to find lengthy footage that's also free. But, like I said in a previous video, if you're looking to bring a pet into your family, please consider adopting a rescue. Nothing against breeders personally, but when you take in a rescue, not only do you give it a home, but you open up a place to stay for another potentially lost animal, thereby increasing its odds of finding a forever home as well. Rescues can have so much love to give, and sometimes all they need is a second chance to really shine. So please, give serious consideration to bringing a rescue pet into your home. I promise you will not regret it. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. I'm so grateful for you joining me here, for watching the video, and for everything you guys have done to support the channel. Daily views are on the rise, new records are being made and broken consistently, and I cannot express just how grateful I am to all of you. If you liked the video, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and feel free to share it on social media. Also, I am on Twitter, and you can check out the handle in the description below. Now, you guys go out, have a great weekend. I will see you all on Monday. Until then, I'm Exile451. Stay beautiful, people.